In this episode, Tesla brings back the wheel. Vinfast opens reservations, and the new Ram EV. Welcome to episode 161 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, currently CES is going on, which is where all the new hot tech comes out.
That's what, the Consumer Electronics Show? Is that right?
Yes, I believe it is, yes. But there is kind of some VR stuff coming out. But what I wanted your opinion on is apparently Apple will be coming out with a VR headset this year. They've been working on it for a while. You have an iPhone over there. You are using a Mac currently. Are you big into the VR thing?
No.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
Interesting. What I want to know, and what I don't think you have the answer for, nor should you, is will you be able to use the Apple VR headset on a computer to play racing games, flying games?
Maybe.
Something along those lines?
Probably not, because you're not usually gaming on a Mac, are you?
Usually not, but...
Is that something that anyone does?
Not often.
Is
Not
it
often
possible?
Yes, it is. For select games, yes.
Okay.
Should you? No. You should just get a PC. That's what most people do anyway. But the idea of having a good, high-ish quality VR headset for a racing game is actually really nice. And I happen to have a VR headset. And maybe after this, I'll show you what it's like, because it's kind of wild.
As I hope I don't puke.
You might feel nauseous, to be honest.
Fair.
But it does put you in there. And if you move your head around, you're moving around in the car, which is cool.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's neat.
That is pretty wild.
But was there anything else that has come out at CES or that we should chat about?
There is some Tesla news that is worth talking about.
Okay.
So what is the biggest problem with the Tesla Model S and the Model X and the Plaids and all that?
The biggest problem? Panel gaps.
Second biggest problem.
Simplicity of their interior.
Fair. Have you ever tried doing a U-turn with one?
No.
So do you know what I'm alluding to?
What?
The yoke.
Oh, we're flying an airplane.
Yeah, your Tesla Cessna 172 Model S Plaid Boeing 747.
What's faster, an airplane or a Model S Plaid?
Well, it depends on the airplane.
A Cessna 172?
Oh, Tesla Model S Plaid by a humongous margin. Like, not even slightly close.
Nice.
Yeah, a Cessna gets blown out of the water by, I think, even your car.
Really? They're that
slow? Slow.
Oh, no.
I think a Cessna's, I don't know this for sure, but I think you're taking off at like 78 miles an hour or something like that.
Oh, it's like interstate speeds?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very nice, comfortable kite.
All right, tell me more about this yoke stuff in Tesla.
So Tesla is allowing you to have a steering wheel that allows you to make a U-turn. Because you could imagine trying to do a U-turn with a yoke.
It couldn't be wonderful.
As it comes spinning through your hands.
Yeah, it'd be weird, because turning your hands over and then having to grab it back. And usually in a race car, when you see a yoke, makes sense to have in those, because the steering lock, which is the amount of angle that you're turning the wheel, is very low because you're at high speeds. In this case, you're probably doing a U-turn in a Tesla, so you're at a low speed, and you got to turn the wheel probably at least 1.5 to 2 times, right?
Yeah, like probably 2 full plus times.
That'd be weird.
It wouldn't work.
No.
It just wouldn't work.
No.
So now any of the new Model S's and Model X's can have a regular steering wheel again.
So can you option it with that?
You can. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You can option it with a yoke or a steering wheel for the new Model S's and Model X's, like the Plaids.
And it used to be that it just always had the yoke and you didn't have the option?
Correct.
Ugh.
Now, if you are one of the unlucky people that have a yoke and you went, I'd really like to be able to do a U-turn comfortably, you can actually get Tesla to retrofit the steering wheel in lieu of the yoke.
Really?
Yeah, so they'll replace it for a yoke. It does cost $700 to do so. But if you bought one of like the first generation plaids and you are really tired of only having a half a steering wheel, you can get a full steering wheel now.
That's interesting. I think that I've seen online you can buy like really sketchy plastic snap-on parts for the yoke.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
They'll finish the top half of the wheel with a sketchy plastic part.
I got to admit, that I don't think would feel good.
No. A new wheel from Tesla would probably be good. $700 worth? What do you think?
I think... Okay, here's what I think. I think if you own a Model S Plaid that has a yoke and your daily commute requires a U-turn, you do it. If your daily commute doesn't require a U-turn, you just say screw it.
From the people that I know that have had yokes, nobody really likes it.
Not a soul.
I wouldn't say not a soul. There is a soul out there somewhere, but I don't know of many people at all that like the yoke.
Fair.
It seems to be more of an inconvenience than anything.
True, yeah. Mine was a bit of an exaggeration. But yeah, like, I just don't really want a yoke if I'm not flying a plane.
Or in an F1 car, right.
Yeah, yes, or if I'm on track where, like you said, your total amount of lock is 3/4 on the wheel.
Right.
Like, you can't really steer more than... Yeah, it just... Yeah, it is what it is. But with the steering wheel, you do not get turn signal stalks. You get the captive buttons.
Well,
So, again, that was my next question to you. Is with the yoke, you still didn't have, like, a signal to, like, signal, right?
okay.
So you'd have to press a button, like, you want to take a right, you go click, right? And then you steer. But with a steering wheel, if you're not as much of a driving enthusiast, you might forget which one's the top and bottom of the wheel if you're in the middle of the corner.
That's what you put the
racing tape. Correct. Yeah.
Piece of tape on the center.
Yeah. But with a wheel, if you've got your right signal on and you do a full turn.
Right.
Oh my God, am I going right or left? Oh.
Yeah, you mean with the yoke? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Or with the steering wheel, because you don't have stalks either.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Some stalks on some cars are stationary to the wheel, though. Like my car has that.
Your turn signal goes with your wheel?
No, it does not. It's stationary to the wheel.
Yeah, they're always stationary.
Okay. You were saying, oh, I see what you're saying.
The buttons will go with the wheel.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
So it's the same problem with the Ferraris.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like a Ferrari 488, your turn signal is on your wheel, or all the things are on your wheel versus a stock.
And it gets weird when it's upside down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Case in point.
I like that they're allowing you to option it. And to be honest, I bet you most people would just go with the normal wheel.
Yeah.
I think a yoke is one of those things you want to try once, and that's about it.
That was going to be my question is, would you ever own one? And my answer to that question would be no, but I'd love to try it for about a week.
Yes. And I think I know of somebody who's getting a Y with a yoke. So we might be able to drive one here soon.
I'd like to drive a yoke.
Yes. Would be kind of fun.
Interesting. Feel like a fighter pilot. Actually, no, because they're a stick, not a yoke. You feel like a C-17 Globemaster pilot.
What is that?
It's a 4-engine heavy haul cargo plane.
No. I want my Cessna. My slow BRZ Cessna.
I think it actually has about as much power as your car.
Perfect.
Cessna, I think, has under 200 horsepower.
That's all you need. No grip. That's all you need. Low horsepower.
Oh, Derek. I love it. But yeah, your new Teslas, the Model S's and X's, you can option with a steering wheel and not just a yoke. So good on you.
Perfect.
So you ready to move on to a Vietnamese car company?
Sure.
Yeah, I said that right. Vietnamese car company.
Whom?
Vinfast.
I've heard of Vinfast, but don't really know it. I've heard the name. That's about it.
So did you know Vinfast was Vietnamese?
No.
So your Vinfast is Vietnamese. I didn't know much about Vinfast. I know there's been some news coming out about Vinfast at CES, the Consumer Electronics show. But apparently they've announced at CES that they are buying slots, reservations for the VF6 and VF7 EVs.
To the U.S. market.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Interesting.
They actually promised that they were going to deliver their bigger EV SUV, the VF8, this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let's talk about the VF6 and the VF7.
Yeah. I want to see some of these. Ooh, okay.
What
Tell me
do you
more.
think about the look about the VF6?
What does it remind me of? With the wheel arches and the black trims along the bottom, it's kind of...
You're going to say a Pontiac Aztek, aren't you?
Not so much that. I'm thinking like a Honda CR-V or I can't remember the car.
Okay.
Something along those lines. What do you think?
A Subaru Crosstrek?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like, to me, an owl with that face. That looks like an owl, right? Meets some sort of weird SUV thing.
Kind of Kia Niro for the VF7.
Actually, the VF6 is about the same size as the Niro.
Really?
Yeah, that's the same size as the Niro.
Okay.
But let's talk about a little about what the VF6 and the VF7 are.
Sure.
So, as you know, I'm not the biggest EV guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the VF6 and the VF7 are not making me any more of an EV guy.
Tell me more.
They're not very good with their specs.
Oh. Okay, let's talk about some numbers.
All right, so the VF6, you get a singular electric motor.
Okay.
1, it drives only the front wheels.
That's fine. Okay.
It's an EV. I feel like they all need to be stupid quick.
No.
Well, no, but
why
they're
does your
EVs.
grandma need a stupid quick EV?
Because she's my grandma.
No, she does not.
No, I mean, you're right. You're right. But
So, go with the front wheel drive. Low rolling resistance, good efficiency. Maybe they got a big battery, big range. Give me some more numbers.
you can get it in either an eco mode trim or a plus mode trim.
Why would you even have a plus mode trim if you have one motor? That's kind of
I don't know. But the eco gives you a whopping 174 horsepower.
Oh, boy.
That's not very good.
Uh-oh.
I worry that'll get up to highway speeds eventually.
This is an EV?
That's why I'm saying.
Oh, boy.
What is the stereotypical EV? It's 1 million horsepower, 1 million torque, simply because it is an EV.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Like, it's taking the only thing that I like about an EV away from the EV, which is the mad crazy power.
Okay. The new Prius has more power than that.
Yes, it does.
Like, by a lot.
The new Prius is probably stupid faster than this.
Yes.
Again, this car is not about speed, so who cares, right? But the Plus gives you, are you ready for this staggering number?
Mm-hmm.
201 horsepower.
Better than the BRZ. Let's go.
By 1.
Yeah, and not the new ones. I think the new ones are at 205. But
Oh.
Anyway.
Baby. In terms of range, again, I'm not very impressed with the specs of either of these cars. The range for the VF6, if you're the eco mode model, you get 248 rough estimate of range.
248.
248 miles. I feel like that's not a lot.
I wouldn't say that that's terrible. If you're around the 250 mark, you're in a solid spot.
Mach-E competitor.
Right, you're in a solid spot.
You're probably right. I don't know. I just feel like
you're likely not long hauling this thing. This is grandma's car to take around town to the grocery store and back. That's plenty of range for grandma.
that is exactly who's going to buy this car, is grandma.
Perfect. Does she need, honestly, more than 100 miles of range? Probably not.
No, you're right. I mean, I can't dispute with that. I just get range anxiety anytime I see anything less than 300.
You get range anxiety for anything less than 1,000. If you don't take your Aptera and shut up, you're not getting an EV, okay?
Oh, you want to go down that path? We want to go down that path.
No.
All right.
No.
So the you know how the Plus model gives you 201 horsepower?
Mm-hmm.
So it has more horsepower. You suffer for that extra horsepower.
In range?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
237 miles range. So you get 11 miles less in range.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Either way, you whoop-de-doo. So that's the Vinfast VF6.
Okay.
Let's move on to the VF7, shall we?
Sure.
The Vinfast VF7. You also get an Eco model and a Plus model. Okay? So the Eco is a single motor front wheel drive. But where things get really spicy is when you get a Plus, you get a dual motor all-wheel drive.
Oh, here comes the Plaid.
Yeah, brother.
Here we go.
No.
Uh-oh.
So your Eco gets 201 horsepower and 228 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
And this is the bigger version of the VF6.
Right.
So more weight, but not a whole lot more power.
221? That was it?
201.
201?
201.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
How do you get such little power numbers out of an EV?
That's good. That's what my problem, right? VinFast is suffering from the same disease that early muscle cars are suffering from.
Yeah. We have an 8-liter Pontiac V12 that spits fire and makes 52 horsepower.
Yeah.
How?
You have an electric motor that is instantaneously torqued to 1,000,000, but you only get 201 horsepower.
How?
Again, the VinFast suffers from the original American muscle car disease of where does it go?
I don't know.
It's just, I don't get it. But where things get really exciting is when you get the Plus model. You get 349 horsepower.
Okay.
That's more respectable.
That's much more.
Attaboy, VinFast. Well done.
Those are good numbers.
They're better numbers.
Still a little low, to be honest, but
It's
whatever.
an EV. Every EV has to have 5 million horsepower.
Oh, it's like literally the bar is 500 horsepower.
Yes, because I feel like with an EV, that is literally just simply turning it on and you get 500 horsepower.
Right. Send all the power to the motor. You will get 500. Don't worry.
Like that's just, it's an EV. That's just what happens, right? But now let's talk about range. So the range for the Eco, 280 mile estimate. That's VinFast's estimate. So that is not an EPA estimate. But all the estimate range mileage stuff here, VinFast estimate, not EPA.
Good note there. Okay, 280. We'll take them for their number of 260. Sure.
I'll take them for 250-ish.
Okay.
Right? And then for the Plus model, again, you suffer in your range for having all that excess horsepower.
It's the weight of the other motor, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
268 mile range for the Plus.
Okay. All right.
Again, fine if you are 87 years old,
right,
and your grocery store is 2.5 miles away.
These are comparable to cars here in the U.S. They don't touch the Tesla peg. They're not that high on the scale of EVs.
They're not even close to the Tesla peg.
No, not in the power numbers. Do we have priced numbers for them?
We have estimates.
Okay.
We don't have official numbers. The VF6 is estimated to start somewhere around 30 grand. So now that makes it more enticing.
That does.
That, to me, means we're going to see a lot of old ladies driving VinFasts.
Okay.
The VF7 is estimated at a base price somewhere near the 40 grand mark.
Okay.
Plus or minus.
30 grand for 250 miles is okay.
It's okay. What is the cost of a Mach-E?
Hey, that's a good question. Let's go find out.
Yeah, I'll Google that.
Because if that, I'm pretty sure the cost of a Mach-E is 45 is my best guess.
46. Yep.
Yeah.
46, and let's see. I'm going to do range. Mach-E range is about average 250 miles.
Okay. So this could be a cheap-ish. I think that the sweet spot is you sell a car that has 200 to 250 miles of range for $25,000 new. Like, that is the money spot right now that a manufacturer needs to hit.
I agree with that.
I don't know of any off the top of my head hitting that, other than like maybe the Chevy Volt or something like that. They could be touching those numbers. I don't think that they're that cheap, though. You can get a used one for actually dirt cheap.
Actually, the Chevy Bolt EV starting at $26,500.
Yeah, with the range, that's the question, though. I think that it's pretty good, though.
The Chevy Bolt range $259,000.
Okay, so that would be the one.
So,
And I've heard you can get a used one of those that still has 220 miles of range and like 2 or 3 years old for $15,000.
So if your name is Sue or comparable, and you live in Boca Raton,
Sure.
and you need something cheap to get you to your grandson's house in West Palm Beach, you buy a Chevy Bolt, not a Vinfast.
Yes, I would rather have a Volt because VinFast doesn't really have a presence here in the U.S.
No.
And what happens normally, they don't really have problems, EVs. The Bolt, I don't think has many problems at all.
Well, what if you get suspension failure?
Yeah, right. If you have an issue, what do you do then? Because this is a Vietnamese startup.
You mail Vietnam and you say, help.
You tell your husband, we're going back to Nam. Oh, no.
Now, this is inevitably going to be bought by the old lady, right? Which means
Right.
her most likely not young man husband could be a Nam vet. So
Could be.
poor old guy's going to have Nam flashbacks with a
Could be a vet.
Vinfast VF6.
Maybe. I do like seeing competitors in this market, though. And I do want to see the price of this come down a little bit more. That would be ideal. But I would say I'd give them a thumbs up, you know?
I don't give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I give him a thumb. Just
A sideways?
A sideways thumb. Because I still think it's too expensive for what it is.
I think if you compare it to the U.S. market, though, it's not.
I think it needs to be $25,000 to compete with the Bolt.
Okay, take the Bolt out of the equation. This looks good.
Well, yes, but the Bolt exists.
Right.
I can't take the Chevy Bolt out if it exists.
Would you rather drive a Chevy Bolt or a VinFast?
A lawnmower.
No, you have to choose.
A Bolt.
Really?
By a huge margin.
Really?
Yeah. Like, not even close.
A Bolt is smaller than this, though.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't want a Vinfast.
Excluding that it's a Vietnamese brand and you're probably
I
not
don't
going to
like
be
the
able to...
look of it either.
You don't?
I hate the front of it.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's not. It's kind of whatever to
I
me.
just think the front of it is so strange.
It's a bit odd, but it's from Vietnam. I mean, what do you want?
A car that doesn't look so strange. It looks kind of French.
Yeah, I can see the Renault.
It looks kind of Renault-ish, Peugeot-ish, Citroen-ish,
I can see that.
which means it's going to break down.
I actually do think that these will sell okay here in the States. And
I
if they
think
can
you're
get
probably right.
a presence for serviceability, probably will do decent. And I've heard that there's another Chinese car brand that's going to be doing this very soon. I can't remember the name. Why? Something.
Something. I don't remember.
There's more of these will be happening than you think. And it's going to start to squeeze the U.S. car manufacturers a little bit, which will be very fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch from the sidelines.
Yes.
Definitely. So, shall we move on to an American manufacturer?
Okay.
Maybe getting squeezed soon.
Sure.
How about Dodge?
Here we go.
You know, you've seen the articles. You've seen the Reddit posts about the new Ram EV.
This made it all the way to my software meeting at work. I was like, wow. Okay. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. It's an EV pickup truck. It looks odd.
This is the final pickup of the trio, right? We had the Lightning, the Ford Lightning, which is the F-150 EV.
Yep.
What was Chevy's?
The Silverado EV.
The Silverado EV. And now we finally get Dodge's Ram. Ram 1500 Revolution.
It's BEV.
BEV.
I don't know what the B stands for.
I was about to ask. You do some research over
Big
there.
ass EV.
Now, looks-wise, we'll talk about numbers here in a moment. Looks-wise, this is a truck that is very fast-looking, maybe is a one way to put it, right? Everything is kind of squished down and aerodynamic-esque.
It's quite sloopy.
Do you like it?
No.
I don't love it. I don't... It's
By
a
the way,
weird-
I can't see anything about what the BEV stands for. The BEV. The beverage.
Just hit us up on social or put it in the comments down below if you know what that means, 'cause that's an odd one. Do we have any specs about this vehicle?
There's not a lot of specs, but there's some things to chat about.
Okay.
So, some features. Let's talk about some features. The interior of the Ram 1500 Revolution BEV has some sort of a rail system, which allows like customizing the seating arrangements.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Not opposed.
You can
to
make
that.
them like jump seats or something like that. It is interesting. Apparently, the powered midgate includes a third row jump seat back there. That's where they are right there.
Wow.
Yep. Third row jump seats, right? That apparently, if you get like a pass through from like the end of the tailgate through, you can carry 18-foot long objects.
That seems big.
That's huge.
That
That's
seems
like a
very big.
long piece of PVC or plywood or something, or 2x4 or something like that.
What's the average bed?
It's like 6.5 feet.
That's what I thought. It's like
So
really
it goes through
small.
the cab.
Right. I get that. Okay. That's a neat feature.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember the Chevy did that too, remember? And I think they got 14 feet or something. I don't remember the exact figure, but I think it was
you're
something
right.
like that.
Yep.
Right? Apparently, you've got electric motors on both the front and rear axles that do give you all-wheel drive. And apparently, Ram is also claiming, and here's where it's a little wonky. Ram claims that the steering wheel can retract into the dash for level 3 autonomous driving.
Whoa. Really?
That's what they're claiming.
Okay. That's a bold claim, my friend. Now, they're not claiming that they have level 3 autonomous driving ready.
Correct. They're claiming that when it's ready, you can do it with the Ram.
Okay. That's a bold move. I wonder why they're doing that.
They must know something we don't know.
You see Tesla struggling out the wazoo right now to figure out how to get to level 3 driving. Level 3 is the part where the human doesn't need to interact with the vehicle anymore. And they're not far off at
Is
Tesla.
that level 3 or level 4 where that happens?
I think it's level 3. Here, let me see. This is level 3 is conditional automation. So environmental detection capabilities, the vehicle can perform most driving tasks, but still human override is required. That's odd. I get level 4 is the point where the steering wheel goes away.
Okay.
And 5 is full automation.
5 is where you are just being carried around.
Right. There's no human in there. Huh. I wonder why they said 3, because 3 would lead me to believe that you still do need a steering wheel.
I agree. I don't know.
That's odd.
I don't know. That's what they're claiming.
Okay. I did some quick Googling. BEV, battery EV.
Oh, okay.
We might come back to that soon. Yes. We
I-
might come back to that soon.
We might, yes. Now, they didn't give any, like, range figures officially. There are some estimates, but they didn't give any official numbers. But what they did say is that you can get up to 100 miles of range in around 10 minutes with one of those 800-volt fast chargers.
Okay. That is the unreasonably fast ones. I don't even think
That there's
Teslas
not really, like, any of, is there?
800 is no. I think 400 volts is pretty normal.
What most of the Teslas are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's where things get a little sideways or inaccurate, I should say.
Okay.
Because Dodge had decided to fit their electric vehicle with the option of making it also an ICE vehicle.
What?
So
This is CES. This is the Consumer Electronics
so
show.
apparently Dodge will offer an optional range extender, which is simply an internal combustion, maybe not internal, but a combustion engine that will recharge the batteries.
What? What? So there's no drivetrain for it. It's just to recharge the batteries.
Correct.
It's a Prius.
It's a Fisker Karma.
No, a Fisker, you could at least use the solar panel to recharge it. It's a Prius. The Prius only had the internal combustion engine, I believe.
No, that was the Volt.
No. That was the Volt. You're right.
It was the original Volt.
You're right.
Or the Ford C-Max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just...
This? Really? They put an engine in it to give it more range? To give it more battery capacity? Really?
So is it still an EV? Or is it a plug-in hybrid? Or...
It's a BEV. It's a battery EV.
But is it, though? Or is it a CEV, a combustion electric vehicle?
I mean, there's an exhaust pipe at this point, right? Wow.
This is just...
Why?
Dodge, you're making me scratch my head, dude. Like,
did they give any more details on that?
So they didn't really give a lot of details on it, but I did some more snooping around the interwebs. And I found a quote from a website called Rob Report, the Rob Report.
Okay.
And this quote does not actually clear anything up whatsoever.
Oh, wonderful.
You ready for this?
No, I'm not, but let's go.
All right. So the quote is, the automaker has previously said that the Ram 1500 EV will arrive in 2024 and have a range of 500 miles. Bullshit. With the extender, you'll also be able to add 20 miles of range every minute it's connected to a charger.
What?
So you're using the range extender to get more to add more range while you're already at a charger?
What the heck?
It may just be horribly written.
That sounds like it might be wrong. Or not. Yeah. That sounds like it has to be incorrect.
Because
why are you sitting at a charger?
That statement doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're sitting at a supercharger running your internal combustion engine to charge your battery.
Like
what?
I fear the poor fella at Rob Report hasn't really heard of how any of this works.
No.
Because that statement that I read doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No, that makes no sense. This truck doesn't know what it wants to be.
I agree.
This truck is lost.
I agree.
This truck is very, very lost.
It's confused.
The F-150 Lightning knew it wanted to be an electric F-150.
And that's all it wanted to be.
And that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's all it needed to be. It wanted to try to run the tools at the construction site. It probably won't, actually, which is fine. But it wanted to try. It wants to try to power your house. That's fine. This wants to try to power itself off its own engine that's somewhere stuffed in the guts of it. Where that is, I have no idea. Because apparently it had a front trunk. That's where the other seat things were.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. I don't know anything. This truck confuses the shit out of me.
Dodge failed here.
It's just weird.
Truck guys, in my opinion, won't want to buy this.
No.
Who buys this?
No one.
What? What the heck?
No one. And I keep going back and rereading that phrase. I think what they're trying to say is that with the extender, you'll also be able to add 20 miles of range every minute it's connected to a charger. I think it's supposed to be connected to the charger of that combustion engine. Like plugging into that combustion engine.
Okay. Which I imagine it's always connected to it. Because
I can't, even then, I can't really move past this quote because I'm just so damn confused.
Here's my visual. You're towing the internal
generator.
Combustion engine.
Yes. You're towing a separate Ram 1500
that just has the internal combustion engine and a wire connected. It's like towing the diesel generator behind the Tesla. It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. This is a weird vehicle, man. It tries to look cool. It's like on the edge of trying to look that aesthetic of not the Cybertruck, but like down that road, right?
But
just
like
dipping your toe in that water.
Like Ram TRX makes Cybertruck.
Yeah, kind of like that. And it doesn't want to go full EV because I suspect that the full battery numbers on this, since we don't have them, are not going to be very good.
Yeah, when they put in that article, 500 miles range, I'm sorry.
There's no way.
That's not accurate. There's not a chance on God's green earth. Are you kidding me?
If a Tesla's towing a diesel generator, yeah, it'll get 500 miles of range. Sure. Uh-huh. Yeah, every one of them will.
Absolutely.
That's really weird. That's not a good sign if they won't just come out with the raw numbers. And I haven't seen them anywhere. That was the first thing I did when I learned about this. Figure out exactly how much it is, and nope, nothing. No range.
Don't get
range estimate. Not a good look.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
I'm not the biggest of fans. So what do you think the hierarchy is then? Do you think it's F-150 at the top?
In
Chevy
terms
in
of
the middle?
Yeah.
And then Ram at the bottom?
I think it is Rivian R1T. Ford and Chevy tied for second. Hummer EV. Then this thing.
Wow. So you think Ford and Chevy are equivalently
I think Ford and Chevy are about the same thing. Which one do you like the look of better? I think the Rivian's the best off-road, well, not off-road, the best EV truck that we've got right now is the Rivian. Agree?
I agree, assuming they stay afloat, because that is a big assumption right now. If you have not seen what is going on with Rivian, they are on the verge of bankruptcy very soon, within the next couple months. But assuming they stay afloat and they actually can service the trucks and be okay, I agree. That is the best EV truck at the moment.
So, foregoing Rivian's financial woes, in terms of which one's the bestest, I'm Rivian with the number one, and then I'm kind of tied for second with the F-150 Lightning and the Silverado EV. Then the Hummer EV with its heffalompness.
Crab walking.
Yes.
Weirdness.
Then this Ram BEV combustion engine thing.
This is on the bottom.
But it also says Rev. It's a Rev and a BEV at the same time.
I don't know.
I feel like Ram is just they've spread themselves too thin on trying to be all different things at the same time, and they never went all in on one thing.
Yeah.
And because if you chase two chickens, you catch none, I think that's the problem they're having here. Is they're trying to do all the things, but they're never being the best at one thing.
It felt like they saw the Lightning come out. They said, uh-oh, we need more range. We're not going to get that in time. We saw the Chevy come out. Uh-oh, they have this crazy bed system that will allow you to have really long pieces of wood or whatever you're hauling around. We can apply that. We can patch that in there, right, before we release it. Mm-hmm. It's going to push back our release date a little bit. Maybe they'll figure out the battery in time. Oh, no. Turns out they didn't figure that out in time. Mm-hmm. Just throw an ICE engine in there. Maybe. So they say.
I don't know.
And that'll solve our range problem. It does feel like it was not a rushed product, but a reactionary product with too many things going on at once, where they didn't focus on what is a Ram truck owner like about a Ram.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think they just kind of quickly threw something together because they kind of felt pressure that they had to.
Oh, they certainly were under pressure. They were the only one that hadn't come out for months.
Yeah, no, totally. It just seems like Ram, again, to me, they're trying to be too many different things simultaneously without like putting their stamp down and like putting their stake down and saying, yes, I am the best at this.
Right. Full self-driving. Sure, we're getting rid of the wheel. Just do it. Just focus on that. This is the full self-driving truck. That's fine.
Yeah, like they mentioned in the article about how it can retract. Like if that's going to be their shtick, then make that their shtick.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It just seems not brilliant for me.
Okay, let me ask you the last question here. What is a Ram truck owner looking for in a Ram truck?
Their sister. Oh, sorry. That was mean. That was mean. I'm sorry. That was mean.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding. Damn it, I'm kidding. They are looking for a Hemi, first and foremost.
Okay.
Because I feel like that is the typical Dodge Ram thing.
That would be towed behind this and plugged in. Sure. Okay.
Correct. They're looking for tow mirrors because that is always the Dodge Ram thing. Have you noticed that?
You're right about
the
that.
The trend of Dodge Rams always have them, regardless of whether they're actually towing a trailer. They always have their tow mirrors flipped out like, wow, I'm a moose.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Do you see mirrors?
I see itsy bitsy little camera things.
Right.
I'm not a fan.
No.
I feel like, apart from that, they're just looking for a truck that can just get up and do the job of a truck.
Haul stuff around.
Just
be a truck.
Be a truck.
This is almost failing every single one of those, which is ridiculous to say. It is.
It's almost failing every single one of them.
It is.
You don't have very high hopes for this truck, do you?
No. Unless it comes out that it's $25,000, you get 500 miles of range, legitimate, without towing a diesel generator. Fantastic. But I don't have high hopes for that.
This is not even anything near $25,000.
No. It's going to be...
It's probably going to be like $60,000.
$60,000. Yeah. 50 to 60 grand at low trim, which is exactly what the others are, which is fine. But you have to have the rest of it.
That's the thing. The rest of them know what they're trying to be.
Yes.
They're not trying to be something they're not. The rest of them just know what they are.
Right.
Are we done ranting at the Ram?
For now, yes.
Until more news comes out.
What a CES we've had.
Interesting.
Yes. A fun one.
So you got any more news for me?
I do not.
All right, well, then that's going to wrap us up for episode 161. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you first and foremost. And if you're listening on audio, thank you again. But if you're on YouTube, please do leave us a thumbs up and drop a comment on the video. Let us know what your thoughts are on the new Ram 1500 BEV, REV, Revolution thingamajigger, or whatever it is. If you're listening on audio, send us your thoughts on the Ram as well, but send it to us over social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. Our website is weareauto.io. And which, if you're anything like us, you're probably at this point really wanting to watch some racing. You can go to our website, weareauto.io. Check out some of your favorite past races. So again, thanks so much. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.